This is a good attempt, but I still feel like you are not putting in the hours, you're not putting in the work. So this, I understand everybody's busy, I understand that, we're all busy. I'm busy as well. But, to be able to maximize this course and get the best out of it, get decent feedback, quality feedback, I think it just makes sense to spend the time to do the work. You have references here, and I feel like you you could have done more with the reference, like knowing that you had a reference, you still kept it very safe. So look at look at how this lady's arms are. Look at how, see the angle. But see yours is not, you see the difference. See the way the folding of the hands are here for yours. It's not even realistic because the arm, it always forms an isosceles triangle. So the arm, the upper and the lower arm, it forms an isosceles triangle. If this is the elbow, upper arm and lower arm, they tend to form an isosceles triangle. Now, if you look at this, it may not look like an isosceles triangle, but it's because we are looking at it in with depth. That's why it looks like this one is, it looks like this lower arm is longer than the shorter, but longer than the lower arm. But the way yours is drawn, look at it. Because this one is still believable, still plausible to me because it's in depth. Like the triangle is in depth. It has depth. But if you look at yours, how do I draw this triangle? Like, where's the elbow? Is this the elbow? If this is the elbow, then this is way too long for me to get to this point. The arm, the lower arm is way too long. The only way this thing can be correct, and that's why you have that's why I see you had a reference, but you didn't use the reference, is that it's supposed to come out like this. For this arm and to kind of create an isosceles triangle, it has to come out like this. Either come out like this, or you look at how this reference is, or you can bring it out more like that. So in a way, it's kind of forming that triangle there. The same thing too with this side. This side is better though, but the other side is not, it's not really working. So to draw this thing again, this is what I'll suggest, and I'm just going to keep it very, very simple because of time. Hi guys. So in the fall of 2025, I got to host an 8-week masterclass titled Ethnic Character Design for Animation, which had a decent number of signups. I got to share a ton of rich information, secrets, industry insights that I used to craft an award-winning character like Noni, Eyes of Wakanda. The sessions were archived and compiled into a digestible course. The course will be available for purchase on Gumroad from 26th of February 2026. If you are an intermediate level artist seeking to diversify your portfolio to include culturally grounded characters in animation, then this is for you. Thank you for listening and see you on February 26th. If this is her face, I'm not going to draw her face in detail. This is the arm. So this is what I think it should look like. And then this other one. The elbow is going to be here. like that. And then where's her boobs? The way you drew it, I don't see. It's supposed to be here. Then a back. And then so you have to think about it like this. Now let's look at the expression, the face. Like, what is she doing? Let me see. So she's screaming. Like, it's almost like she's throwing like a tantrum or something like that. So the mouth is open. Remember that there's the jaw. Remember that the jaw moves backwards. I think I pointed this out in the last class. When the mouth is opened, the jaw moves downwards. And when the jaw moves downwards, it's going to cause like it's going to cause like some compression in the neck. Right? So that's compression there. Then, it's like she's wailing. So for her to wail, obviously the eyelash, you got the eyebrows, sorry. You got the eyebrows, like the way it's going is supposed to be like that. I'm going to flip the canvas. If you need the PSD file for this thing, I'll share it. Just let me know. And you see what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to avoid symmetry, because symmetry is a killer. It can make your work look robotic and mechanical. So what is happening with this side of her face is not happening exactly on the other side. In fact, the mouth, it looks like her mouth is going up more on this side. Like the mouth is moving upwards more on this side. We don't want to overdo it though. Make it subtle. Like I think the way it is now, it's kind of subtle. And her ears somewhere should be somewhere here. Traps. These traps, very important. People have traps, no matter how thick or thin they are, they have traps. Okay, so you always think about this stuff when you draw. I think those boobs should be slightly white on this side. So this is what I think your drawing should look like. There's weight going on here. in the, this excess weight. When you draw, study chubby people, plus size people. When you draw them, so that you draw the correct thing. They have everything else that slim people have. It's just that it's a bit exaggerated and rounder. Like what I'm drawing now, this part is the rib cage. The rib cage is inside here. A thin person has rib cage. Same thing too with them, the plus size people, but it's just that it's buried in in fats. Like there's excess fats that is on top of it, but it's there. So her belly is going to be follow that topology like that. Like this. And then you can have excess. We're going to draw all these parts. So I'm drawing her like she's not wearing any clothes, because this is how you you understand. If you don't understand how to draw people like this first, giving them clothes is just going to make it worse. Like it will be very obvious that you don't know. But when you draw them, you draw it like this first, then you can now add all the finer details of life. So this is what I think she should look like. She's wearing I think she's wearing a scarf or something like that. So all of that, you have to put all those things there. I don't want to do all that for you. So you have this, I have this PSD for you if you need it. All right, moving on to the next. It's the same thing too, with this one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing all these corrective sketches. I think your work is really rushed. Like I see how you spend a very, like, it looks like you don't spend a lot of time doing your work, and to be honest, I appreciate that you're putting in the efforts to submit your assignment and stuff, but what's really the point of doing it if you're not going to do it, put in the efforts to do it? So I really appreciate it, but I would have appreciated it better if you put in the work. Like, send me your 49 sketch. So I'm just trying to take your drawing, and you see, yes, I'm drawing over yours, so it's not going to be as rough as yours, but you could have also done the same thing too. Like, you didn't have to send me the rough sketch. You didn't have to send me this. You could have cleaned it up the way I'm cleaning it up. You didn't have to send that to me. So that we'll focus on your line work, your clean line work. And I noticed it, most of the assignments you sent me, throughout this course has been almost like really rushed. And I feel like you could have done better to take advantage of this course if you are just giving it a little bit more time to clean it up. Most of your sketches are usually very rough. So this is just me. I don't know about the measurements of your character. I'm just using your rough sketch, and I'm using your rough sketch as a basis to design or to clean up your drawing. Like, at this point, I don't want to bother too much about the measurements, because I don't know this character as much as you do. You probably know this character better than I do. I'm just using what I'm seeing as reference to clean it up. So this arm is straight. Again, I'm gonna this one in perspective. So when you draw like that, think about the wrinkles and folds. This thing is going to fold towards, like, away from the armpits, like that. Like this. Then you're going to have, I'm not even looking at the reference, I'm just trying to draw this thing anatomically correct. So you're going to have, and then this side is in perspective, so it's going to be foreshortened. Like, you're using a reference. If you're drawing this thing by heart, then I will understand why it's rough. But if you're using a reference, it shouldn't be rough like this. Shouldn't be. You see the difference between mine and yours? And I drew this in, how many? This is probably like 5 minutes. It's better to submit one really good one than you know, 6 rushed work. All right, so this is what I expected you to do. So maybe she's wearing an apron or something. Well, I don't think she's wearing. It depends on what you design, but something like this. I flip the canvas, and yeah, she looks much livelier and more interesting to look at. I think this arm should be shorter. Yeah, so this is what I think she looks like. All right, moving on to another one. I'm gonna save this PSD, this thing as PSD. I will not be doing this one. This is the last one I'm going to focus on because of time. And this is another rushed, really rushed work, and a missed opportunity because this is a really good reference. Like, you could have done a lot more with this. I see, you know, I see how you pushed it, but it's still not quite there. Let me see if I can take what you've done. But you know, even with this, I feel like her hand shouldn't be this big. I understand that, you know, you want to do like perspective drawing, or rather you want to use like a wide angle lens to exaggerate the forms, but I'll suggest you keep it like the hand shouldn't be so big. I'm gonna make this hand smaller, maybe small like this. Okay, so remembering what I said about the isosceles triangle of the arm. So if the elbow is here and the wrist is here, then to form that isosceles triangle, the shoulder should be here. So I'm gonna have shoulder here, the elbow. Don't forget to put the elbows, because no matter how chubby a person is, they're gonna have elbows. no matter how big or small, because elbow is a landmark area of the body. Okay, so we're going to move this shoulder over more to this side, looking at the reference, and also probably because she has a thicker, a broader shoulder. Let me look at this one we did here. Okay, so it's a rounded shoulder. Now, this is something I usually say, that when drawing people, no matter how chubby they are, you always, I'm gonna move this arm up. You always want to draw their deltoids. So she has deltoids. It may not be very, very obvious, but it's always there. Maybe this hand is on her waist. Let's see. So now it looks like her shoulder is coming. We have to be careful with this pose, because this pose is kind of tricky, especially the way you pushed it. So I'm going to flip to get this thing right, because the shoulder is popping to the front. So that means this boobs is going to fall downwards like that. And then her shoulder blade is here. Shoulder blade, scapula or shoulder girdle is here like that. Then you did this thing where her face is upwards. So I'm going to try to draw like the way you've done it. And her mouth is opened because she's probably yelling at someone. I mean, the problem I have with this pose is that if she's going to be pointing at someone, she's supposed to be looking at the person. So it just looks, I don't know, it feels a bit weird that she's not pointing at who she's talking to. Anyways, I'm just going to draw what you have here. And then eyes closed and nose is here. I don't know if she has like scarf. Maybe she ties scarf here. And her ears somewhere down. So now, yeah, I'm just, trying to use what you've created to draw. I'm drawing with what you've created. I'm gonna flip canvas again. So now it's starting to take shape. I think it's taking way better shape. The shoulder, it's here. Can get rid of this part. I still feel like her hand should be smaller than this. So you see how much time I'm taking to do this correction. I doubt that you spend this much time trying to make this drawing, because I can tell, how much time you spent in your drawing. Then that's her mouth. So maybe you will see the upper teeth. So all the other excesses, like, because she's bending, she's leaning forward. So all the other excesses, the excess weight on her midsection, all of that will kind of trail behind like that. Depending on how she's bending anyway. Maybe she's not bending so much. Maybe she's bending just a little bit. So we'll see more of the belly downwards. And her arm is on her waist. What's the best way to draw this arm? Let me see. Let's flip this again. This arm should be sagging downwards. There's a way the body is that is almost like so if you draw anatomy long enough, you start to see there's almost like a connection between the chest, especially for women, and the shoulder. Starts to kind of join together like that. So if she was wearing a shirt, for example, if it was a short sleeve, then we'll have all those wrinkles and folds from the shoulders like that, from the armpits like that. And this is the elbow. Remember, elbows always have to show, no matter how chubby a person is. So look at how this, and then she's leaning forwards. That hand is coming forward, so it's going to be like that. The deltoid, the traps are here. It's going to connect to the shoulder girdle like that. So this is how this is my attempts to salvage your drawing. And this is the last one I'm going to do. If you need the PSD files, let me know. Thank you very much.